Hello and good day. I will be showing you in this video how to configure network using VMware. First, go to change date and time settings, then change time zone for Windows 2008. For this tutorial I switched it to Beijing, Hong Kong. Once it's done, head on over to Windows 7 and also change the time zone. Make sure that Windows 2008 and Windows 7 has the same time zone. Go back to Windows 2008 and configure the network. Right-click Local Area Connection or LAN and select Properties. Uncheck Internet Protocol version 6 and go to version 4 and Properties. From there use the following IP address. Do the same on Windows 7, configure Windows 7's network. And now from Windows 2008, provide computer name and domain, then change the computer's name. For the computer's name I named it server because later we will perform desktop connection, share, and backup files from the client's computer. After changing the computer's name, restart the computer and do the same on Windows 7. Change the computer's name. After changing, automatically restart the computer. Once both virtual machines have restarted, we will now begin to add roles in a moment. But first we must make sure that Network Discovery is open. In Windows 2008, click on Start and then Network and turn on Network Discovery and File Sharing. Do the same on Windows 7. After turning on Network Discovery, we can now customize the server. We can finally add roles to Windows 2008. Click on Add Roles, Next, and select a role you wish to add. We will be adding Active Directory Domain Services for this video. Next, Next and Install. After installing ADDS, click on Start and in all programs search for DC Promo. This is an ADDS installation wizard. Click on Next, and then Next and select Create a new domain in a new format and click on Next. But before we can proceed, we must first switch our user. Press Ctrl+ Alt+ Delete to log on and select Administrator to gain admin access. Create a new password and confirm. After logging in, we can now proceed in the installation wizard. Input the new forest root domain. For this I put ceu.net, and then click Next, and select Forest Functional Level. I selected Windows Server 2008 and continued. Click Next and then Yes. Click on Next and input a password and confirm password. Once done, click on Next and wait for it to install. After installation, restart your computer. We now go to Windows 7. Go to the Start menu and right-click on Computer, and then Properties. We will go to Advanced System Settings, and click on Remote Settings, and in Remote Desktop, allow connections from computers running any version of Remote Desktop and then apply settings. After allowing any remote desktop connections, we can now add another role. Click on Add Roles, Next, and select DHCP Server, Next, and then Next, and in Preferred DNS Server IPv4 address, input the preferred DNS server from the server connection, which was 192, 168, 101, 1, and then validate. Click Next and then Add. For the scope name, I put scope 100. For the starting IP address, I put Windows 7 network connection IP address as the starting point, and the ending IP address is 192, 168, 101, 199. Click on OK and then Next, and disable DHCP v6 stateless mode for this server. Next and then use current credentials, install. After installing, add another role, click on Next and select File Services and Print and Document Services. Select Print Server and Role Services, next and then select File Server and File Server Resource Manager. Next and select Local Disk Drive, and save reports at this location. Browse and select only the C drive, click on OK and then install. Wait for the installation to finish. Once installed, click on the Start menu and go to Administrative Tools, and select DNS. Click on Server and then Reverse Lookup Zones. Right-click and add New Zone. A new zone wizard will pop up. Just keep on clicking Next until you stumble upon Network ID. For this you must input the server IP address, which is 192, 168, 101, next and finish. After clicking on Finish, click on the Reverse Lookup Zone, select Folder, right-click, and add a new pointer. Input the host IP address, click Browse, and select Server. Select Forward Lookup Zones folder, select CEU.net, and select Same as Parent folder. Once done, click on OK. Click again on the Reverse Lookup Zones. Right-click again to create new zone. Repeat the same process, only this time in the network ID. Input the IP address 127.0.0 instead of the preferred IP address. Once you created a new zone, right-click again on the newly created zone to create a new pointer. After creating a new pointer, input the host IP address for the zone, which is 127.0.0.1. After inputting the host IP address, repeat same process of creating a new pointer. Go back to Configure Networking, and select Local Area Network, Properties, IPv4 and Properties. Reconfigure the preferred DNS server, which was set to the 127.0.0.1. Reconfigure it back to the original preferred DNS server, which is the IP address of the server computer. After configuring the network, click Start and open Command Prompt. To check if the network configuration was successful, type in NSLOOKUP and it will show whether the address was changed. After checking, go to Administrative Tools, and go to Active Directory Users and Computers, click on CEU.net, right-click, New and create an organizational unit. For the name I typed Clients so it is easier to remember. In Clients, right-click, New, and create a new user. For the name of the client I simply typed Client 1 so it is very distinguishable. Same goes for the user logon name. Click Next and select Password Never Expires, and create a new password for the user. Once the user was created, go to the Users folder and copy the administrator to create a copy object, user of the admin. Once it was created, click and drag it to the Clients folder. In the Start menu, type in Search All Programs and Files, Computer Management, click on Storage and then Disk Management so we can manage disk storage of the server computer. Right-click on Disk 0, the C drive, then shrink the volume, enter the amount of space to shrink in MB. I typed 20,000 so it is evenly distributed to the other disk drive. Click OK and then right-click the unallocated disk, click on New Sample Volume, a wizard will pop up, then enter the sample volume size, click Next, and assign the following drive letter to E. I labeled the volume label to redirection because we will be putting the redirection folder on the E drive. Once it was finished, click the Start menu again, and then Administrative Tools, go to Group Policy Management. Click on Forest, CEU.net, click Domains, and then CEU.net, click on Clients and then click on Client GPO, right-click, and Enforce to enforce it. In the Client GPO, go to Policies and Windows Settings, click on Folder Redirection. But before we go to the redirection folder, we must create a folder in the E drive. Click Start and then Computer, click on the E drive and then create new folder. I named the folder Server Redirection. After creating the folder, right-click, and then Properties, click on the Security tab and then Edit. Add a group or username. In the Enter Object Names to select, type in AU, which stands for Authenticated Users, and allow full control. Apply and then OK. Go to the folder's properties once again, and then go to the Sharing tab. Click Advanced Sharing. Click Permissions, and remove users. Type in AU again, for authenticated users. Click on Full Control to gain full access and then copy the network path. Once it was copied, go back to the client's GPO and then go to Folder Redirection and then right-click Desktop. Click Properties, and then in Setting. Select Basic, so we can redirect everyone's folder, then paste the copied network path. In the Settings tab, uncheck the Grant the User and move the contents, apply and click OK. Go ahead to the Start menu and search for GP Update to update the policy. Wait for it to update. Once it says User Policy Update has completed successfully. We can now go to Windows 7. In Windows 7, go to the Start menu and right-click on Computer. Click on Properties, and change Settings. We can now change the member of domain to ceu.net. Enter the admin username and password that you previously created. To gain permission and access to join the domain, a message will pop up afterwards which says, "Welcome to the ceu.net domain." After that, restart Windows 7. Go back to Windows 2008. Click on Start and search for Remote Desktop Connection. Click Options, and type in the client computer's IP address, which is 192, 168, 101. 2. Type in the username, which is admin. Go to the Experience tab and change connection speed to LAN, which is 10 Mbps or higher. And then connect. Windows Security will prompt up. Type in the admin password and wait for it to connect. As you can see, we successfully connected to Windows 7. I will be creating two folders. A folder named Minato, and another folder named Dainty. After logging out from the remote desktop connection to Windows 7 from the server computer, which is Windows 2008, we will be seeing the two folders that I created there. As you can see, the two folders are there. Now go back to Windows 2008. We will now be beginning to backup and recover. But before that, we need to add a feature to do it. Click on Add Feature, and select Windows Server Backup Features and the command line tools. Click Next and install. After the installation, go to the Start menu and search for Windows Server Backup. On the right side, click on Backup once, and click on Different Options. Next, and click on Custom for a custom backup. Next, and Add Items, click on the redirection drive, also known as the E drive. Click on Remote Shared Folder. Next, and paste the network path of the server redirection folder on location. And then in the confirmation step, click on Backup. Once the backup was done, go to Windows 7 and delete the two folders we created. After deleting the two folders, head on back to Windows 2008, and in Windows Server Backup on the right side, click on Recover. On the recovery wizard, click on this server, next, and leave backup date as it is. Next. And next. On the select items to recover step, click on the server folder. Click on redirection. Click server redirection folder. And select the desktop folder. In specify recovery options step, click on another location, and click on Browse. Click on Computer, Redirection Drive, Server Redirection Folder, Admin, and then Desktop. Click OK and then Next and click on Recover. Once the recovery was finished, let's check if the two folders are now back in Windows 7. As you can see, the two folders are back. Thank you for watching and I hope you had learned something. Ap pek pajer fahak mom dao aokwop fenapudska opoi tapapu.